with eyes full of adultery, they never stop sinning. They seduce the unstable. They are experts in greed, an accursed brood. They have left the straight way and waded off to follow the way of Balaam, son of Beor, who loved the wages of wickedness. 2 Peter 2 verse 14, adding adultery in marriage. This is dangerous effects of marital unfaithfulness. Number one, according to this scripture, Peter says, a person who has eyes full of adultery. Did you get that? So meaning there are eyes which are full of adultery. This is deeper than lust, because this is in the level of Matthew 5, where Jesus says, whoever looks at a woman lustfully has committed adultery with her in the heart. Matthew 5 verse 28. So there are people who can strip you naked with their eyes, and they can even have an intercourse with you through their own eyes. And that's why you see the industry of masturbation, the industry of pornography thrives so well, because it advances adultery through the eyes. So there is adultery that is committed through the eyes, and Jesus said it is in the same measure as physical adultery. That's why I told you there are 4 types of adultery. Number one is between human beings of the opposite sex, but violating marriage principles. Number 2, it is with the spiritual entities, incubus and succubus. When incubus and succubus are having intercourses with a married person. And then we said there is this now eye adultery. Remember Job, that one says, I made a covenant with my eyes that I will never look at a woman lustfully. So there is a adultery through the eye, and that one mostly uses the mind. That's why we notice there is someone who can look is in the craving, is in the burning passions. So they can look at you, and then in their body they are doing some other things. They are already releasing on themselves. There is a lady that confessed that to me. And then there is another adultery that uses tools, equipment adultery, where you find a married woman has some certain machines in her bedroom, dildos, vibrators. A man has whatever. The items that are being used is sold by Sue Gasabi. And then there is bestiary adultery. Bestiary adultery is where a married person, but you're using beasts, using dog, snake, and those kind of takataka, those kind of abominations. And then let's come here. Peter is saying, with the eyes full of adultery. If you can go back to verse 13 very briefly, he says, they will be paid back with harm for the harm they have done. They will be paid back with the harm for the harm they have done. They will be paid back with the harm for the harm they have done. Note that. The idea of pressure is to carouse in broad daylight. They are blots and blemishes, reveling in their pressure while they feast with you. I wish I could discuss about that. Now, Peter now highlights 7 dangerous effects of eyes full of undertone. Number 1 says they never stop sinning. An adulterous person, you never stop sinning unless you are delivered of that spirit. The moment you commit adultery, you sleep with a married man, you sleep with a married woman, the next thing you notice is that activity creates a pattern of sin in you. No matter how you resist in doing that thing, you still find yourself doing it. And you kind of borrow it from David. He committed adultery with Bathsheba. Although we don't see him committing it, but it ran through his generation. Amnon sleeps with his sister. Adonijah is asking for Abishag. Solomon marries 700, I don't know. From there, adultery, actually it became now polygamous. You never stop sinning. Number 2, so and if there is a very painful thing in this life is when you do not want to sin, but you keep on sinning. Paul speaks of it in Romans 7, or in Romans 6, towards the end. He says, there is actually Romans 6, he says that there is a sin I find myself doing, that I do not want to do it, but I keep on doing it. Yeah? It is normally in Romans 6, Romans 7, verse 14 to the end. So you keep on sinning. You can find yourself not committing the sin like for 6 months or 4 months, and then it comes. You don't stand it. Number 2 is seducing the unstable. If you are of the adulterous eyes, there is a lady one day with an argument, and she told me, I have the sexy eyes. If I look at you, you can, what? And she's defending that. She's defending that. She looks at the man this way. The man's mind is, and herself already she knows, using those eyes, she has arrested you. Seduces the unstable. When you are of the adulterous eyes, you make other people backslide. You become a weapon of the devil in making other people backslide. You seduce the unstable. So these people target those who are weak. Number 3 is expert in greed. Expert in greed. The word there is expert. When you are of the adulterous eyes, you are an expert in greed. These are the people who we speak of. They have insatiable cravings. You cannot satisfy their craving. So this is a person who is burning with passions. His or her body can burn, and it will not cool down until it is given that food. So these people don't have self-control. Something else is a cursed brute. A person with the adulterous eyes, you will notice in life you fight unbreakable curses because you walk as an accursed brood. A generation that is cursed, and you go and do your own research and tell me. You struggle with unbreakable curses unless God have mercy. Something else is you live straight way. A person with the adulterous eyes, they will live the straight way. Okay, you walk with the wandering spirit. If it's about the church, you move from one church to another, from one church to another. You have the wandering spirit. You live the straight way, and then you wander. Dangerous. Something else is adulterous eyes. If you're of the adulterous eyes, you connect to the Balaam, son of Beor. Meaning what? If you have the adulterous eyes, you will notice witches and sorcerers and diviners. They easily access you. They can easily manipulate you, and they can easily misuse you.